What if the monkey were an economist? Have you ever stopped to think that maybe we're overcomplicating this whole economics thing? Because I was reflecting on something absolutely insane. What if a monkey were an economist? And no, I'm not talking about a monkey in a suit giving lectures at a university. I'm talking about a real monkey. That furry creature that lives jumping from branch to branch, picking bananas and scratching its belly without the slightest concern for the stock market or the Selic rate. And you know what's even crazier? This animal probably understands more about economics than many of the experts who appear on television speaking in complicated terms to impress. Let me tell you something that will blow your mind. Scientists conducted an experiment with capuchin monkeys where they taught the animals to use coins to buy food. Yes, real coins, monkey money. And guess what happened? The monkeys learned the concept of supply and demand in a matter of days. When the price of a fruit went up, they bought less. When it went down, they bought more. They understood inflation, scarcity, relative value, all without reading a single economics book, without going to college, without watching those boring 10-hour videos about the financial market. And there's more. One of the monkeys even invented the oldest profession in the world, exchanging coins for sexual favors with a female monkey. I'm not making this up. It's pure science. The animal literally created a prostitution system using market economics. If that's not understanding how the world works, I don't know what is. Now think about it. A monkey doesn't get anxious looking at cryptocurrency charts at 3 in the morning. It doesn't lose sleep wondering if it should have invested in company X or Y stock. It doesn't get paralyzed trying to decide between 20 different cell phone models that do exactly the same thing. The monkey sees the banana, it wants the banana, it grabs the banana. Simple, direct, efficient. The monkey's economy is based on real need, not on desire manufactured by television commercials. It doesn't buy a second banana just because it's on sale, and it needs to take advantage even if the first banana hasn't even been eaten yet. It doesn't hoard bananas thinking that one day they will be worth more. It eats when it's hungry, period. It's almost zen if you stop to think about it. And look how interesting. Monkeys perfectly understand the concept of work versus reward. For example, you take 2 monkeys and ask them to do the same task. You give one a delicious grape as payment, the other a piece of cucumber. Do you know what happens? The monkey with the cucumber gets furious. He throws the cucumber in your face, literally. He refuses to work. He goes on strike. This animal understands labor exploitation better than many human workers who accept anything because at least they have a job. The monkey has economic dignity. He doesn't accept being treated like a fool just because he needs the money, or rather, the cucumber. Now imagine if the monkey actually became an economist and was called upon to solve the world's problems. First meeting at the central bank. Guys, why are you printing money that doesn't exist to pay off debt that also doesn't exist? This makes no sense at all. Look here. Are there bananas on the tree? Yes. Are you hungry? Yes. Then take the banana and eat it. Problem solved. Next problem. And when that classic economist came to talk about infinite growth on a finite planet, the monkey would look at him with that, "You're kidding me, right?" face. Because even the simplest animal understands that you can't grow forever by eating more than the forest can produce. But we, with all our superior intelligence, created an economic system that literally depends on infinite growth to avoid collapse. Brilliant. We really are much more intelligent than monkeys. And do you know the most ironic part of this whole story? We've created such complex economic models with so many variables, so many theories, so many impossible graphs and mathematical formulas that even economists themselves can't predict what will happen. Economics is the only science where 2 experts can win a Nobel Prize defending completely opposing theories. It's the only area where you can be wrong 80% of the time and still be considered an expert. But the monkey is right every time, because it follows basic principles that have worked for millions of years. Fair exchange, real need, balance with the environment. It's not trying to hack the system, it is the system. So maybe, just maybe, We should stop listening to these economists who talk in incomprehensible terms about price elasticity of demand and the ISLM curve, and start paying attention to the monkey. Because the monkey knows that economics isn't about numbers on a screen. It's about real resources, real needs, real exchanges. The monkey would never cause a global financial crisis because it bet on toxic mortgages packaged as safe investments. The monkey would never create a tulip bubble because it saw other monkeys buying tulips. The monkey would never sell the idea that you need to work 60 hours a week to buy things you don't need to impress people you don't like. The monkey lives, eats, plays, rests, reproduces, and dies happy. Economically speaking, it won the game. But of course, we're not going to admit that, are we? Because it would be too humiliating to accept that we built this giant castle of economic theory that in the end is less efficient than the banana monkey's system. It would be to acknowledge that perhaps, deep down, we're not so smart after all. Be to accept that we complicated something that could be simple because, ultimately, complication generates power, generates control, generates a class of experts who can tell other people what to do. The monkey doesn't need an expert. He is the expert. And that's the most valuable lesson of all. So the next time you have to make an economic decision, ask yourself, what would a monkey do? Probably something much more sensible than what you're thinking of doing. And if you found this video interesting, leave a comment below. Would you trust a monkey to manage the country's economy? Because honestly, it can't get any worse than this. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this crazy idea with someone who needs to rethink some things about money. Because in the end, maybe true economic wisdom lies in a tropical rainforest, not in a boardroom on Wall Street.